Hey YouTube, it's Thomas with Tomology. Here we go for the third and final build, which is going to be your high-end build. Um, yeah, you can actually get a little bit higher than this if you want to go with a 4090. I went ahead and went with a 4080 Super. Again, it's an Intel. We're going to look at the different ones. You got the 13900 and you got the 14900 Ks. They're both the same price. Plus, the 14900, you get the free game. So all three of these builds that I did, the budget, mid, and high end, they all come with the free game, which is always a bonus. So the motherboard I chose was the Carbon Wi-Fi. I'm actually going to probably upgrade to this one for my MSI Edge. So let's go ahead and look at the board here. Again, you got dual 8 pins up here. This one here has a the LED reader. So if you have any postcodes or any errors in there, it'll give you a little code. You can also use this as a temperature as well. They got plenty of fans, USB 3 for front panel, or USB-C for front panel, USB 3 for front panel. I'm not really worried about the SATAs because if you're going to occupy all the M.2s, you won't need it. This is PCI Express 5.0 on the M.2. Again, USB down here. This thing has plenty of hookups on here. One thing that I like about MSI, I'm trying to find where it's at. Majority of their boards have a little plug for the Corsair that you can plug in for their plug. I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is right there. I believe that's it right there. I believe. So, good looking board and a lot of RGB. I do like that they didn't add the RGB down here at the bottom. It's only right here. All this gets covered up anyways. They need to focus for people that want RGB more in this area right here. If they focus more in this area, we'll get a lot more RGB. Oh, so let's see here. What do we got? So you got 19 plus 1, so basically 20 VR RAM phases. So, I mean, you got plenty of overhead. Plus, it's 105 amps per one. Plenty of overhead. I know they tell you 78, but a lot of people don't get that. So, just remember if you are using Gen 5, your video card goes down to ×8. Yeah, you really don't see a performance. If anything, it might be 3 frames, might 3 to 5 frames, somewhere in there. If you see any performance at all. Let's go back up to the pictures and look at the IO shield. So let's go to back. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 8 USBs and then 2 USB-Cs. Looks like Wi-Fi 7 on this one. You got your clear CMOS, your BIOS, and then a smart button. So you got plenty of activity here. I'm really liking the MSI boards. They're nice. MSI and Asus, I like those, but Asus just keeps going higher and higher. I know inflation's here, but they keep going higher and higher. All right, what do we have next here? Okay, then I went with the Trident 64 gigs. If y'all watched my mid range, I told y'all I was going to go to 64 on this here. You're getting up higher, so that means you're going to be wanting to do a little bit more video editing or streaming and using the PC at the same time. So go ahead and grab you a set of 64. Again, me personally, I would not go higher than 6400 on the RAM. You can even still overclock this. So I mean, XMP is automatically a stock overclock or factory overclock. So most people are getting 6800 out of this. So it's easier to do that than to buy a higher end kit and trying to drop the speeds. It's unless you just want to future proof for a different motherboard later on when the 15 gen comes out. So, but again, this is the Trident Z by G Skill I went with. Then I went with two terabyte Western Digital SN850X. So one of the big reasons why I do this is, let's see here. So, and this isn't, set in stone or the right way to do it. But if I do, let's see here. We're going to compare. So we're going to actually do SSDs. So come here and you look at the top SSD on user benchmark, which a lot of people use this. They're faster than the 990 Pros. So, I mean, if you want to go with the 990s, you can do the 990s. So the 2 terabyte right here is just a little bit, it's one under the 994 terabytes. For some reason, the 4 terabytes are always there. But again, look at this. The SN50, crap. The SN50X 2 terabyte is above the 994 terabyte. So this is one thing that I do go to for one of the sites I go to for comparison and to see where the market is and how fast certain things are. Because a lot of people, they benchmark their systems on here. So, and I mean, you can do anything. GPU. Compare GPU. So what's the top dog? 4090, then the 4080 Super, then the 4080s, then the 79. So they go in order of what they are. Same thing with processors. Let's go to CPUs. Top dog is the KF. I always suggest to get the K variant in case you ever have a problem. You can use a motherboard, HDMI, or DisplayPort. Now, if they weren't putting those on there, then of course I would go ahead and say go with the KF. But since pretty much all motherboards have that on there now. So anyways, let's get back over to it. So again, I did 2 of these on this build. You can do one and drop that price right here, about 170 bucks. Every once in a while, you can find these on sale for about 140 or so at Best Buy or somewhere. So let's go to the next. So then for the video card, again, you don't have to do MSI to MSI, gigabit to gigabit, ASUS to ASUS. You can do whatever. I actually have the 4090 of the Supremax, and I really enjoy it. It's a really nice card. So it's not overabundant in RGBs when you're using it. Mine's water cooled. So it's just very subtle, just light here, light here, light here. They're very subtle lights. And then the Supreme X is a little light bar right here in the middle. Let's see. Come on. Back over there. There we go. That's what I want to see. This right here, this Supreme X, and then this little light bar right here. That is it. It's very, very minimal. So I know a lot of people don't like RGB, so I try to keep lower on the RGB on this build. So again, you can make this build a little bit more higher end by going with a 4090, which would bring you to about 1900 on, which you can't even find a Supreme X. So 4090. So it's really hard. Then I went with, let's see, the case I went with is the Fantex NV7. This is a really good optimized case. You can put 3 120s on top, 3 120s on the side, 3 on the bottom, and 2 in the back. So that's 11 total fans you can put in here. I like the bottom part. You can make it where it's actually angled. I don't know if they have it in here, but this one's flat. That one's flat, but this piece right down here, you can actually prop it up. Oh, so you actually can put 4 on the back. So that's actually 12 fans total in here. That's even better. There's this, and especially if you ever want to get into water cooling, one of the things I really do like about this case is the back where the IO panel is. You have so much cable routing, cable management back here. So what's next? In the power supply, I went with 1200 watts. Again, it might be, you could deal with probably 1,000 watt with this setup. I would go 1200 just in case you want to upgrade to a 4090 or so. Again, all the power supplies that I've chosen for the budget build, mid build, and now the high build, they all have the 12 volt. That way you don't have no problems. If this thing melted with some of the melting issues, you can actually go straight to these companies and make them pay for your video card, even though there hasn't been none that's done it that I know of. But because if they're saying that it works, then it works. You got plenty. You got your two for your motherboard right here, your CPU, three extra ones. If you're using an AMD card, if you just wanted to go with a 7900 or so on a video card. So that's what I went with the power supply. Now me, like I have a 1600 watt on my setup. So, and then for the AI, I went ahead and went with one with the LCD screen. You don't have to. You can get one without, but I suggest get one with an LCD. The motherboard, the postcode, like I said, you can set it in the BIOS to display the temperature of what your CPU is, but to have multiples on there, the 13900 and the 14900, they do run a lot warmer. Again, I would not use a pre-applied thermal paste on these. Go watch J2 Senses videos. A lot of people do not use the pre-applied. Wipe it off. Go get you some uh, Kingpin, or my favorite is MX4. I've used them all. MX4 to me is just the best. So, but I did went with this. Again, it's blackout if you don't want no LEDs. You don't have to choose these, but I went ahead and 4 sets of these. So, which is 12 fans. So you have plenty of fans. It matches the case, the aesthetics, everything goes right along with each other on that aspect there. And that's it. I mean, this is what you get for a high end, right at with taxes and all, you're probably looking at about $4,200 with taxes. Let's see if I can. No, I don't want to sign in. So, but taxes and all, and again, this is without monitors, without anything else. But this right here will run anything that you throw at it, even at 4K. So, and for sure, if you really want, just to make sure, if you want to run 4K at all, get you to 4090. I mean, if you have the money right now that you're doing this right here, go ahead and spend you another $450 and get you the 4090. Because I can assure you right now that the 4090 with max settings, even like Call of Duty, with frame gen or with NVIDIA DLSS on, I get over 250 frames. So, and I don't lose nothing on my OLED panel that I'm using right now by Alienware. But yeah, no, that's going to be the high end build. Again, like I said, let's go look at some prices and see what it would be with the 4090 instead. Go here. We want the 40 series, 4090, apply. So 2000, 1900, 1800. Look at there. They have a Sprim. MSI or MSI, Micro Center don't have them. But now they're so close. I mean, if you wanted, you can just go ahead and go with the Asus now. This is the top dog card, unless they're black. Me, I would go with the white one, but I just like my white and black builds. I really wouldn't do these water cooled ones like this. You just, even though these big cases, I don't know. Now this case here with the NV7, this here can go on the back panel. So if you did something like this right here, you can throw it up on this back wall right there. So, but you got to remember to look where your water hoses are. So if I did that, I would vertically mount it and then put it right there. So that would actually be really clean looking. But again, it's all preference now. Again, if you're going for that black build, I wish Asus wouldn't have just did the blue and white or blue and red. I wish they would have just did black or their gunmetal gray like their tough series. Now you got the MSI gaming here again. So let's go ahead and add that to cart. Let's go to my cart, refresh. We're going to go ahead and remove this one. So where you were looking at, 41, 42 with tax, now you're looking at 48 with tax. So roughly $600 more. And this right here should, in theory, take you to at least 5 years. I mean, it'll take you longer. It'll take you further than that, but you should be able to looking at 5 years without a major upgrade. Uh, yes, AMD has more of a upgrade path. They go out 5, 6 generations, where Intel only does one or two. I'm shocked that we've gotten the 12, 13, and 14 off of this LGA 1700, which has been really nice. That way you can switch, but the only bad thing about that is if you take the 1400 or 1300 and put in a Z690 motherboard, the RAM doesn't match up, so kind of sucks on that aspect. But case you wouldn't have to upgrade, video card you wouldn't have to upgrade. This 4090s are going to take us at least 20 2026, 2027. I mean, before they start, they're going to drop in price by then, of course, on the market value. But in game wise, I mean, look, you can take a 1080 Ti still and still play 14.4 games. 1080 for sure, but 2K gaming, I mean, you can play all day long with some, get it to medium and some settings on lower. So, and that card's been around for a while. What does this say here? March 10th of what year? 2017. So that's 7 years. So, and it's again certain things it can still do really good. So we get better and better, and I know the 50 series or whatever they're going to call it next is supposed to be leaps and bounds above the 40 series. Can't wait, because my goal, or what I would like, is to take a video card and not use any image enhancing, scaling, or anything. Just raw performance, 4K 240. That's where I hope the goal is. But no, that is going to be my outtake. This is the third video I put out. So you got the budget build, the mid-range build, and now the high-end build. Again, like I said, all these builds, no mouse, no keyboard, no monitor, no mics, no headsets, no nothing. This is the prices. Inflation's horrible. Trading between countries is horrible. It's ridiculous. But I'm Thomas with Tomology. Thank y'all for watching.